Well, now to our southern border, where Texas state troopers have arrested 15 illegal immigrants for criminal trespass, including one who has ties to a suspected terrorist. This man may be the spouse or child of a known or suspected terrorist. He remains in custody as DPS investigates his background. The arrested migrants hailed from Brazil, Peru, Ecuador, Nicaragua, the Dominican Republic, and South Africa. Also at the southern border, a terrifying situation as authorities rescue a child who was drugged from a trafficker. Border Patrol says that trafficker was working to keep the child from speaking to agents, adding that the trafficker also had birth certificates for more children. The agency calling the action so horrendous, they defy human decency. And south of the U.S. border, rival factions of the Sinaloa cartel are at war, and Mexico's president says the United States is to blame. The violence between the Mayos and the Chapos continues. This in the aftermath of the U.S. arrest of two key cartel leaders. News Nation correspondent Jorge Ventura joins us live with the very latest. Jorge?
Well, Kelly, now Mexican President Andres Manuel Lopez Obrador is publicly accusing the U.S. government of playing a role in the civil war breaking out right now in Sinaloa within the Sinaloa cartel. If you remember when El Mayo was arrested back in July, Mexico said they had no idea this operation is being carried out. Now Mexican president putting some blame on the U.S. government. This new civil war spreading a new wave of violence all across Sinaloa.
Culiacan, the capital city of Sinaloa, is now a battleground. Rival factions of the Sinaloa cartel, the Chapos and the Mayos, are locked in a power struggle weeks after El Chapo's son allegedly abducted El Mayo and brought him to the U.S. to be arrested. More than 50 people are dead and another 50 are missing. Bodies have been found scattered across the city, some with chilling messages from rival factions. Reports say that some bodies have been left wearing baseball caps identical to the ones seen in wanted posters of El Mayo, adding a grim signature to the violence. And severed heads and hands have been left on top of pizza boxes, frightening symbols in this escalating narco war. The Sinaloa and Jalisco cartels control global networks that dominate the fentanyl and methamphetamine trade in the U.S. They oversee the entire drug pipeline from production to distribution using corrupt officials and smugglers. With a presence in every state, their drugs flood the market, fueling the deadly fentanyl crisis. They even disguise fentanyl as prescription pills, making it harder to detect and contributing to the rise in drug poisonings across the country. Mexico's president is harshly condemning the U.S. government for how it coordinated the arrest of Joaquin Guzman Lopez and Ismael El Mayo Zambada in late July, saying that it is the cause of the bloodshed in Sinaloa. President Lopez Obrador saying, quote, "They made a deal and did not inform us. According to our Attorney General, the Department of Justice was in talks with one other criminal groups in Sinaloa, and they made the deals," quote. The violence has completely upended life in Sinaloa. While some schools have reopened, many businesses are shutting down early, and residents are staying indoors, fearing for their safety. Even with a heavy military presence patrolling the streets, the violence continues unabated. The U.S. intelligence analysis suggests that this conflict could drag on for years.
And so far, that violence breaking out in Sinaloa shows no signs of slowing down. Today, the governor of Sinaloa announcing an additional 600 soldiers to the state of Sinaloa, trying to calm down that violence breaking out between the Mayos and Los Chapos, Kelly.
All right, Jorge, thank you.
Thanks for watching. Go to joinnn.com to find News Nation on your screen. And don't forget to click the red subscribe button below to get more of News Nation's fact-driven, unbiased coverage.